About a year ago, I decided to make a game using Unity, and in this video, I'm gonna show you all my journey. For those who don't know, I'm just a random guy. This is my very first game, and I opened this YouTube channel to share pretty much everything. So I've always been a fan of survival games like Raft or Subnautica or even Astroneer, where you have to survive, craft, and build whatever you need. So I sat down and said, okay, I'm gonna go this way, but I want a different environment and with some different mechanics. I then picked up some references to like inspire by, and we all know what I mean by inspire. And this thing is the first screenshot ever of my game. Yeah, you guessed it, totally crap. But since then, a lot of things have changed. I started doing some dark stuff like coding and modeling, and I finally started working on the day-night cycle. I started by making the sun, the moon, and some stars. I tried to make them rotating around the player, which doesn't seem to be the best idea at the beginning, but eventually I get it to work. And to add some details, I also use the volumetric light and some lens flare as well, so when the sun is rising or setting, this effect is more visible. To have each island different, I created a script that spawns random objects on them, and with it I can also spawn them in groups to create forest or spottograss or whatever. At this point, since I want a procedural infinite map, I created another script that randomly spawns islands around the player, and to do this I used the inside unit sphere method. This is going to change a lot in the future, but for now it gets the job done, so yeah, it's fine. And as you can tell, I can decide also how far the islands are going to spawn. Okay, that's probably too close. So, I have the player, I have some islands, I just need something to reach them. And this is why I started thinking about an airship. Using Blender, I came up with this thing and everything was going pretty good since a big boy called physics just slapped me. So I decided to grasp the nettle and figure out how to physics, so I started watching at some Unity tutorials, and after that I thought, yeah, I'm ready to smash that big boy. As you may have guessed, I was not that prepared, but since my game is not heavily focused on physics, I said, it's enough for now, it's not that important to have a perfect physics system, and eventually I made my first drone prototype. But let's now get to the point, the gameplay. The main idea is to have different types of floating island, each one with its own ecosystem, and the player will have to take advantage of them. Of course, every island can spawn different materials. So let's see an example. This is a desert island and this is a wind turbine. So if I place it here and then place the battery, you can see that it's not doing great. The energy cell is not even charging or very slowly. Instead, if I place it in a windy island, it's doing a lot better. At this point, you may ask what this energy will be used for. And that's a fair question. Well, the energy is like the currency of this game, and with it you can power tools like the smelter to smelt minerals together. You can use it as a fuel for the airship, and you can use it basically with everything that involves electronics. Well, usually in real life, to build electronics we use minerals and metals that we can find in caves. And that's why I decided to make caves. With it, I introduced also some new materials like the copper, the lithium, and the quartz, and the cave is the only place where you can find them. I then thought to add some randomness, so to loot them, you will have to break an ore, which will give you up to 3 pieces. Let's now talk about the UI system. This is a survival game, so you have to stay alive somehow. And to keep track of your stats, there is the health bar, the hunger bar, and the am I freezing bar. I don't think I have to say this, but if you eat something like this starfruit, the hunger bar will restore. If you are freezing instead, just build a campfire, stay around it, and you're gonna be fine. While the health bar will restore automatically if you are not freezing and you're not hungry. Instead, this is the inventory, and on the left I got the crafting system. The background of an item becomes blue if you can craft it, and the tooltips tells what are the materials needed. So let's say we want to craft an energy cell. I need a copper, I need some lithium, and I finally end up with an energy cell in the inventory. Okay, so that was the overall idea of the game. I know maybe it was boring, I mean it's better to play games rather than describe them, but it's 1 year of game development videos, so I guess we have to talk about the game somehow. But now let's take a step back and see how much effort I really put on this. I said 1 year, yeah, because exactly 1 year ago I started working on this thing, but what about the time that I actually spent on this game? Well, that's a whole different thing. This 1 year of development was definitely not a full-time work, and if I could shrink it into full-time, probably I would end up with 4 months or something around that. And to give more stats, I made a quick script with Java that counts the lines of code of my project. Running it, I get almost 12,000 lines of code, which is ridiculous for a game, but since I'm not a modeler, I spend quite a lot of time in modeling. If you want to see something deeper about one of the topics that I mentioned here, you can probably find it as a single video on my channel, or if not, you can contact me directly through Discord and I will be more than happy to help anyone. Well, it was not easy to shrink 1 year in a few minutes. I hope what I said just makes sense. I tried to talk about everything, and if you're interested in how this journey will end up, consider subscribing. Well, this is everything for this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.